this the moment for Lee Fowler? It is. Take your place in Division 2, Huddersfield Town.
And Steve Simonson's boots now. He's missed. Steve Simonson clears the flame of the goal and collapses in a heap of tears. Huddersfield Town are promoted.
Christopher Schindler has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance!
Hello and welcome to episode 99.5 of the Huddersfield Town Social, part of the Andy Takes That Chance network. Another episode, same old story. Town got into the Halloween season spirit, producing a terrifying performance down at Wycombe with Alphamere's miserable red card, providing the catalyst for a classic Town collapse. If the long-suffering Town fans thought that they would then do a reprieve from the misery, it was Tough Sheet. The Tough Sheet Stadium, to be precise, as Town once again got bare-backed by Bolton. The first half was the usual fare, absolutely dreadful, with the midfield having all the grace and dynamism of Big Zoo in this year's Soccer Aid. The boos at half-time finally seemed to spark Town into life, and Gaz was dancing with delight as his favourite Bojan Radulovic nodded in across from Ruben Ruskin. But with a defence that has more gaping holes than a porn-up compilation, it's perhaps not surprising that after just 6 minutes, Town's farcical display at the back allowed Taylor to grab Bolton second. 2-1 it finished then in the end, and the fans like Grant and the players know exactly how they felt about their afternoon serving of Northern football entertainment. Nagles recently come out to give Grant his full support, but what do you guys think? Do we need to get rid before it's too late, or are you sympathetic with the injuries and willing to give him time to turn things around? We'll be discussing all of that plus the recent ATT minutes and looking ahead to Mansfield and Plymouth. I'll be your host, Nick Barlow, and joining me tonight are Gaz K, Andy K and Stephen Shepherd. Evening, gents. How are we all doing? We all good?
Yeah.
Yay! Can't wait to talk about Town. Get in there.
All downhill after that intro, Nick. That was world class, that intro, Nick. So it's all downhill from here.
All downhill for me. Well, it ain't gonna get. It's depressing, isn't it? I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be hard work tonight, but that's why we need your comments, guys. Come on, liven things up a bit. Ben England's already posted. Evening, chaps. Evening, Ben. Leo's good evening. Up Northern football. Well, talking of Northern football, let's quickly brush over the Wycombe game because that's been and gone. But I don't know. I started well enough, didn't we, guys? It were the first kind of 20-25 minutes were promising, creating a few half chances. May heavily involved, and then May does what he's been doing for the past few games in his frustration, somehow finds his way in the left midfield position and puts in a terrible challenge, reckless challenge, and it's a definite red card. The highlight for me was him kicking the metal gate on his way out, only to pat it, to say almost an apology as he walked off. I thought he broke his foot at one. I thought that had just about topped it off, wouldn't it? If he broke his foot from kicking gate. But from then on, guys, I mean, come on, it was fucking awful, wasn't it? I don't think we mustered a single shot on goal after that. It was how not to play with 10 men, wasn't it?
We were trying, wasn't it? I think, as you're saying, we sort of broke that. We've got a bit of a pattern of starting away games all right for 10 or 15 minutes, looking tidy enough, but not really creating very much. I think Castledine had a free kick, didn't he? And a couple of other bits that made him do some defending. But another moment of absolute madness from a Town player. I mean, I can't get me out. What was he thinking? I've absolutely no idea. He ran 10 yards to kick the bloke on his shin and then tried to pretend he hadn't touched him. The second he started going like that, you knew it were curtains, didn't you? You might as well said to the referee, why did you send me off? And I've done with it, ref. And once we're down to 10, that was pretty much game over. You know, we've played against 10 men a couple of times in recent weeks, and they've made it tough. They've got set up. They managed to play against us on the break, managed to create chances despite the fact they've been down to 10. Did anybody have any hope we were going to do that? No, not me either, I don't think. And once Castledine went off injured 10 minutes later, that was game over, really, wasn't it? And the first goal was a piece of piss. And if it wasn't for Nichols, although we lost 3, it could easily have been 6 or 7. They just kept sticking into the back post and we couldn't cope with it. Yeah, thoroughly depressing. And good old Michael Duff enjoyed getting one over on us, I think.
What really upset me, Andy, was the reaction to going a man down because,
Sure
all
did.
right, it's tough, especially at that
I thought he'd slipped.
time. But you thought it slipped?
Go back on again, lads.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Are you there, mate? Good
He
start,
needs to
innit?
sign up for premium Wi-Fi in his hotel instead of using the free cheap one.
Stop being tight, Andy. Come on. Are you there?
I've paid for ultimate Wi-Fi. I've paid me fiver, and it's still not having it. It's StreamYard bloody hated it.
You're back
so
with
going
us,
back
mate. You're back
to
with us.
Wycombe. Good. I won't F and Jeff too much then. I was there, and we thought this from the away end. We thought that he'd slipped. Good old Alfie May. We thought we will give it referee some right jip, and then when we saw it actually played back live, and he'd scythed him down about knee high. The other worst bit about that was Woodrow before he scored. Then a header had just gone bounced off his head and gone 50 miles away, and all away end's giving him, yeah, shit, and he just stood there laughing at us. And 2 minutes later, he bobs one in and just gives us a little wave and then runs away. And it was just one of them days that it was a terrible journey there for me, coming down from Barnsley, dropping our stuff off because we were staying for London for the weekend, getting across to Wycombe. The train journey were awful. We got out of cab and it absolutely welted it down. And I said to my lad, I said, they better win today. After we've been through all this shit, they've got to win today. And then they phone in a performance like that. It was absolutely disgraceful. They looked absolutely scared, stupid of even trying anything. Even when we went down to 10 men, there were no fight, there was no passion, there were nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I listened to Grant's press conference today and talked about him, being up for it and doing what's necessary and getting them where they need to be. These are professional footballers. They're literally their job to run around and try. And they didn't. They just sat there and hoped they would only lose 1-0 against Wycombe. It was so negative. And if you're down to 10 men, give it a go. What's the worst that could happen? And then when my favourite human being started getting the old sacked in the morning, I mean, I felt for him then. I'm surprised he's still here. I'm pleased because I think it's a ludicrous thing to do to sack him at this stage, but I genuinely don't think he's got much longer. Mark says he's learning on the job. I've mentioned him talking about learning. Definition of madness, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, and that's exactly what we're doing. They just looked bereft. Looked at them sat in the dugout, and they're all sat there motionless, thinking, I just hope this goes away, and it's not my fault that we lose it. Awful. And these are professional footballers. If I rock up and give nothing, just read me trainer guidelines out when I'm training people, I get paid as much for what I do, how I do, as what I do. And if I don't give a shit when I'm turning up and working, then my audience will not buy into it. And that's exactly what's going on with this lot at the minute. They are turning up and they are phoning in performances. And for Grant to say in the press conference today, it really pissed me off. As I'm walking past the Fulham ground, where we had one of our greatest away days, team from 21-22, to hear him saying that he's talked to the players and he's stressed the importance of it, and they're buying into it, and they're going to. It's a given. You run around and give something for this, and they just didn't. And I didn't go to Bolton. Absolutely was never going to go to Bolton after that. So if any of you, congratulations, top effort. But sorry, I'm having a bit of a whinge here, aren't I? But it's just so. It was just so instant.
I've been
nothing there.
I was reading the thing Arsene Wenger said the other day, and it was about players and motivation. And he was asked how did he motivate the players in the squads that he managed, and he said, well, "That's not my job. Motivating a player wasn't my job.
Yes.
The professionals motivate themselves. His job was to create the environment for them to be successful, not to motivate them." And I think that, and the players are getting off with it at the minute. The players are dodging the bullet. And I think OT says the 10-man situation gave Grant a lifeline on the day. It also gave the players a lifeline. They look like they're quite happy to accept they've gone down to 10, so we're going to lose this now. So the players are proper dodging bullets at the minute because we're all picking on Grant. But, they're not. Well, there you go. Look, spot's right. Ledson seems to dodge the bullet. Can you imagine if that had? I would say, can you imagine if that had been Og? Could you imagine the stick Og would have got playing like that? But the more I'm with you, Andy. I think that's what disappoints me most. Really, is Grant's getting the stick, and rightly so, by the way, because his intransigence is doing my fucking nutting. But the players seem to be completely free from criticism at the minute. Sorry, Nick.
No, it's all right, mate. It's you're right. It's a shit show from all concerned. And the thing is, Town fans have seen Town play a team of 10 men in Blackpool and Stockport, and they've both got results against us. It didn't stop them. They kept going forward. Stockport actually scored another goal, and we just shrink into ourselves at the slightest bit of adversity. And Steve, what is it? Is it Grant? Is it that the players aren't buying into him? Are the players just knackered? Is it a fitness thing? What is it? There's no togetherness. It's exactly the same as the second half of last season at the moment, where the fans aren't seeing anything from the players. Who is to blame? Is it a combination of everything? Is it, as you say, like Andy says, do the players need to have more stick?
Yeah, totally agree with Gaz. I've been saying it for a long time now, to be fair. The players are getting away with murder. Fair enough, they're not buying into his fickled textbook FA ways, but the players are just... These championship so-called players, Arness, Ledson, they're shambles. They're just not interested, are they? They're just so poor. I don't know whether it's because they just think they're better than they are, and Grant's obviously getting hot stick on social media, so they're getting away with it, like Gaz has said. But everybody on social media just keeps sticking up for him and saying, "Oh, we've got spent all this money. We've got the best squad. Have we got the best squad? These players that we've signed, they aren't best at all. They're just championship rejects. We've just basically signed what we've got rid of. All these other players that we had last year, and Pearson and all them lot, that we've just signed that lot again. They're not interested. They're just here to pick up a wage. And it's just going to get worse. I can't see Grant getting out of it, if truth be told. I don't want him to go, because I don't want us to be new Watford and just keep sacking managers left, right and centre. But I think he's learning on job. He's a rookie. He's got to change his ways a bit and learn a bit more and try and play to these players' style or whatever. But he's got to have some balls as well, to me, and drop them, because they're just not performing.
But who does he bring in? Because apparently they're all injured.
Just give the kids a go. Can't get any worse, can it, Andy?
Well, yeah.
Give Jay Sway a go. Give Voss a go. Yeah.
Give him a go.
Give him a go.
Somebody's put something in there about, there's a couple of comments about Ledson. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, but he's gone missing. And I don't just mean on the pitch. I mean off the pitch. Where's he fronting up? Where's the rallying cry? Where's the we're going to get this sorted out? Where's the I'm backing Grant? Where's the appearing at the press conferences? Has he got some sort of chuffing clause in his contract that means he doesn't have to do the press conference? I don't know how they.
He did the ball one, Andy, and I mean, basically all he said was what Grant says. Yeah, we need to get back to what we were doing. We've got to stick to our principles. We just need to be better. I mean, he basically regurgitated everything that fucking Grant says. So he's not bringing a different mentality, is he? He's just going, yeah, we're just going to do whatever this bloke says because he's right. It was shite. Absolutely shite. I think Ledson's been a disappointment. Somebody asked whether they thought May got sent off on purpose. I'm not sure about that, but I think his frustration got the better of him. That's why he jumped in like an idiot. He was getting frustrated in the game, wasn't he? But we've seen that on the pitch with him. We've seen him rowing with Grant almost. So it's not a great surprise at some point the bloke lost his head and got sent off, is it?
I don't think he lost his head. I think it was a combination of because he's trying to do everything, because no bugger else is, because they're just retreating in and going, oh shit, I hope it's not me that makes the mistake, because that lot down there will be giving me jip. That's just so soft.
But there were two Town players next to him, weren't there? He didn't have to dive in for that challenge, weren't they? Sorensen and that were stood next to him. So
yeah,
What were he doing at left wing anyway?
Because he's trying to play every single position, because you can't fault the fella for effort, but what he's finding work for himself. It's a bit like bloody same situation as Goodman was in when he found work for himself and got sent off. It's exactly the same thing happened there. He needs to stick in the position that he's been picked to play in and let somebody else do it, but he doesn't trust any of them. So what he does is he overdoes it and tries to work even harder to make up for the 5% that they're off, and you get that. I don't think it was a deliberate. I think he's trying to win the ball. It looked like he'd slipped from the away end, like I said, but obviously he hadn't. But there's no need for him to.
He just looks so straight to me. I think he's just dropping deep to try and get involved because he doesn't see enough of the ball up there. He's completely isolated. So he tries to drop deeper to get involved, but then he just gets in all sorts of trouble. It's stupid from him, though. It's an obvious red card. I don't know what he's hoping to achieve there. There's no danger there whatsoever. You don't need to fly him for a challenge like that. And he's put massive pressure on Grant there, because if he don't get sent off, who knows? We weren't doing badly in the game before he got sent off. I mean, you can question the reaction of the players after that sending off. I still think you sit deep, compact, you make it difficult for them. Shut up shop, try and get the point. But there's no doubt that he's made it 10 times harder with that decision, and he just didn't need to do it. So yeah, I'm not going to spend much more time on Wycombe because it was just awful. And problem is, it's so predictable. It's the same formation, playing the same way, same outcome. I'm in a syndicate at the moment, and you put a tenner in. Basically, you've got to pick one winner. It has to be on a Saturday, but it's one winner out of Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two sides. And once you've picked one team, you can't pick them again. And I went for Wycombe because out of all them sides, all them games, I picked Wycombe because I just knew we were going to lose, because I knew we'd play exactly the same way, same formation. I knew that Duff would have measure of us and we'd lose, and that's a real problem. And I don't think there was many people that would have predicted a win at Bolton either in FA Cup. And from where we were at the start of the season, that's really sad to see. But he's not changing anything. He's talking about lessons learning, and we'll go on to Kevin Nagles' piece later on. But the bloke just doesn't. Everyone's saying that he's willing to adapt and change and learn, but I'm not seeing it. Week to week. We're seeing exactly the same theatre play out every single game. And he seems reluctant to make any kind of formation changes in game to counter an opposition. It's bizarre. But then I will read some comments out, guys, as well. I'm just going to go on to the Bolton game. So I mean, just over 6,000 in attendance, which shows what everyone thought really of the game. No one could be asked from either side really. That first half again was sort of classic Town, awful performance. Bolton were on top pretty much from first whistle all the way through that first half. And it was only a matter of time before they score. And, Joe Lowe, I'm sorry, but he's really disappointed me. I don't know what you guys think, but over the last few games, I just think his defending's been absolutely woeful. Shocking header from Lowe, straight to their player. Now, Ruskin, I think it's Ruskin, gets a good sliding blocking from the initial shot, but it comes back to Sissoko. I don't know what Sorensen's doing. He's backing off nearly into goal. He's backing off up towards bloody Rochdale. I don't know what he's doing there, but far too easy. Sissoko puts in. I think Feeney, but the shot actually rebounds off Feeney, and then he eventually puts in the rebound. But it was just farcical, guys. It was just an example of how easy it is for other teams to score against us.
This backing up, I've moaned about it for a while now, haven't I? We see, and I can only assume it's what they're being coached, but we have a real habit of just backing off till we get to the 18-yard box. And weirdly, Ruskin got the block in, and then he got across and round the back of Lowe, quicker across to the bloke than bloody Lowe did. He got up off the floor and overtook Lowe to get across the middle of the box before it went to the other side. But I mean, look, I guess when it's not your day, the ball rebounds and your keeper's laid up for and you stick it in. But we didn't win the first header, by the way. It was a nothing ball. Lowe didn't win the header. One ping ball across the edge of the pitch, 2 touches him back of the net. We don't score them goals, do we? because other teams defend properly against you. But this backing off thing's really starting to do my head in. And they did it for the second goal as well, by the way.
Yeah.
We started to press, and the second the ball lost in midfield, they all dropped 5 yards. And Ledson, I mean, the second goal, it's absolutely criminal. Ruskin don't even bother putting the challenge in after we've given it away. But then if we clear, the bloke picks up in space. A 1-2, he literally runs past 3 Town players, getting to the left-hand side of the box to get that shot away. And then the guy stood on his own at the back post and nodded it in from the line. So with the defending, and then, Grant's then bemoaning the 2 goals then in his post-match interview. Well, they're not very good goals to give away. And then he also said, which is another thing really fucking irritates me with him, I haven't watched it back yet. What do you need to watch it back for? You're literally in the fucking ground watching the game. You're literally there. Why on earth do you need to watch it back to work out whether it was shit or not? Just you've seen it with your own eyes. What on earth does he need to see it back for? But yeah, the 2 goals.
He's coded it. He's coded it. He's coded it, our kid. He's coded it. That's what he's doing. He's coded it.
Honestly, utter shite.
That's what
I think what I will say in fairness, I thought the goal we scored actually was a really good goal. Actually, we played a nice little ball inside. Ruskin made a great overlapping run. Harness picked him out lovely. It was a really good ball into the box. And my best mate, Bojan, nearly headed it over the bar, God love me. He headed it down that hard. If it had been a yard further out, it would have gone over. But he somehow managed to stick it in the net, God love him. And then he did a knee slide. He was probably looking for me in the crowd. Did a knee slide. He booted the bloody things around the edge of the. He proper went for it. I thought our goal actually was a really good goal in first half, and it sounds like. But 10 minutes after that, we had a bit of a go. But of course, second one in, it was pretty much game over. You knew what the outcome was going to be, didn't you?
Well, we bring Dion on, and there's his goal for extinguished straight away, isn't it? We bring Ashir on to inject a bit of flair, bit of pace, bit of directness. But when Dion comes on, it's like playing with 10 men, isn't it? But that's the problem when you've got no. We had nothing, did we, on the bench? I mean, Grant admitted in an interview that half of them were injured by the sounds of it, but they declared fit to be on bench. We had 2 keepers on bench. Now, have we come to this? We signed all these players. We had a really deep squad, or so we thought at the start of the season, and now we're having to put half-injured kids on bench just to pad it out. What a terrible state of affairs. I enjoyed our goal, Gaz. I thought of you when I saw that celebration. I thought he's done that for you, mate. Just to come on, Gaz. I have arrived.
Yeah,
and I'm going to kick on. But
he were a grab bag of Chris there, wasn't he? Full load.
Full bag.
A grab
full
bag. Yeah.
Full grab bag. Up yours, Gaz.
But yeah, as usual, fucking 6 minutes later, we concede straight away. Any kind of open happiness lasted about 5-6 minutes, and then bang. Like Gaz says, when you've got one of our players that passes it straight to their player instead of just booting it upfield, how many times do we concede goals by doing that? Stupid tie-up pass straight to their player, and then it's a simple 1-2. Sends half the players wrong way. Lowe makes an absolute ash at clearance, and eventually it's bundled in. It's absolutely terrible. Shambles. But teams don't have to work out to score against us. We have to put together good moves like that to get a goal, and that's how it should be for opposition. But it isn't. It's far too easy. And the reaction at the end was there for all to see. A bit of trouble there with Taylor at the end. Now I don't know. Some people are saying he got spat at. I don't know if that's true or not because none of us were there. Apparently, he went over to give his shirt to somebody and to a kid, and there was someone behind him mouthing off at him, and then it just started escalating. But it's just not nice to see, is it? It's fans. You can. At the end of the game, that's your chance to be able to vent your frustration, to show them, because that's the only way you can really show the players how you feel. But if it's true that someone spat at him, that's disgusting. They shouldn't be allowed back in. We don't want fans like that here, do we? At this club, it's disgusting. But then you see the anger him towards Lee Grant, and I mean, if I were him, I'd probably walk out, to be honest, because it can't be. I mean, the guy must be feeling poorly. Half his squad's injured. Everyone's calling him inept and this, that, and the other. And I don't know. I don't. There's a part of me that feels really sorry for him, but there's another part of me that feels like, well, try something different then, because here's your perfect opportunity in the FA Cup where we're not going to win the FA Cup away. And it's exactly the same on Tuesday night. No one gives a fucking monkeys about that competition, but it will be same formation, exactly the same ideas, and we'll probably lose 2-1. And that's what frustrates a lot of the fans. If you see they're going all out and they're trying new ideas and it's just not working for injuries or whatever reason, fans can probably accept that. But when they're seeing the same thing, no kind of signs of any of willingness to change it up, to really go for it, they're not going to stand for it. It's too much money. It's too much money to go and watch us offer nothing.
They were free hits, really, weren't they, these 2 cup games for him? Just to try and change it up and give himself a bit of breathing space, in my opinion. And he's just put another nail in his coffin, hasn't he, really? By just doing the same shit.
Yeah, it seems like that. It seems like that. I mean, Grant's interview, I've picked a few bits out. Go on, mate. Go on, Gaz.
No, I was saying it. I think, I guess you got a point there, Shep. You just, if he was going to change it, he could have got away with an excuse. Well, I would have stuck to my guns and 4-2-3-1. But actually, with all the injuries we've got, we had to go with this, and this is what happened. And then, he could have walked his way back out of it, wouldn't he? So I keep getting distracted by the number of people who keep putting the word spunk into the comments. It's distracting me. But yeah, he could have done something. He could have done or tried something, because they are free hits. And to be honest, I'm not that bothered we've gone out. It is what it is, isn't it? We were going to struggle to get to our record in the FA in any cup in recent years of getting beyond the first round pitch anyway, innit? So we weren't going to be going too far anyhow. But he's got to do something different. If he just goes with the same formation and different people trying the same thing again on Tuesday night, people are going to start proper questioning his sanity. Surely.
They will do, though, won't they?
Yeah, I think he will.
I think he will. I like I say, he had two cup games. They were free hits for him. Try and relieve a bit of pressure off his back, and all stick he's getting on the internet. And he didn't. He's proved it there. So I can guarantee tomorrow. But there'll only be 1,000 people there to see it anyway, won't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so depressing. I'm sorry, guys. We'll try and be. I say we'll try and be more positive, but it just gets worse as we go through the episode. Grant's interview, talking of depressing. I mean, he said after Wycombe he was glad that the crowd vented the frustration at him and not the players. But the problem is, he just says the same things. Not enough aggression first half at Bolton, too many missed duels, tentative. How many times have we heard that? We were too tentative, not aggressive enough. But that, surely, guys, that comes from the manager. What's he saying to them before they go out? Like, the first halves have been awful. Absolutely zero energy. Surely that comes from the manager getting into them before the game and saying, right, get in the faces, make it difficult for them. We're going to be up against it, but whatever you do, make it as difficult as possible for them to get control of this game. But it's like we're just gifting teams head starts every single game. What the hell is he saying to them?
Probably way too much. That's part of the problem, isn't it? Dave just said there, speaks a lot and says nothing, and it's it's becoming a bit of a running joke now, isn't it? The way that he is and the way that he talks in press. I just hope when they're in the privacy of the changing room and the training ground, he's a bit less robotic and a bit more human. And I think that's my worry, is that actually what you see is what you get with him. I'm not sure that when the cameras and the microphones aren't there, that he's much different.
No, I mean, he mentioned obviously
the only time I've gone at him was in Austria, and he didn't use that corporate FA speak, plain straightforward language from both him and his assistants. So yeah, there was the odd half space lobbed in, some of the bollocks that's talked about football at this point in time, but it didn't come across that way. So I would hope that with that, what we are getting from it is what he thinks the corporate audience needs to be able to create some content from, and that's not how he's speaking to his players in the dressing room, because sometimes it is unintelligible. It's just like that. We have a laugh on our WhatsApp group, don't we? Well, I'll try and translate it for you into plain English. But some of the times it's utter. It's incredible what has been said. And I think I picked up a gist of something that he's got a performance coach that looks after him. Somebody's got to be talking to him about his bloody his language that he's using, because it's not landing. It's not landing with this audience. Whether it lands with the audience inside the team, you'd hope, but it's not landing with this audience, so he needs to change it for us, for me.
It's like a perpetual episode of the High Performance Podcast, isn't it?
Podcast it is, yeah. What's your top three non-negotiables, boys?
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I can't imagine the players being rip-roaring out of the changing room, Nick, after that, can you?
No, I can't. It's ironically, it's the opposite of what you'd expect a Northern football manager to be like. Straight talking, no nonsense. That's exactly what Town fans respond to. A bit of charisma, but tell it as it is. No waffle, and we've got the opposite. Mentioned we don't have the luxury to make loads of changes. We've got a lot of injuries. Is that legitimate excuse, or is he just making excuses? Is he deflecting away from himself there, or is it should we have sympathy for him? Because it is a tough situation at the moment, though, isn't it?
It is, but it's not been every game, has it?
No.
We've been in a bad way for a while. We've been in a bad way for a while. When he had the full squad to pick from, the likes of that Reading game when he brought on 2 subs and improved it and won 2-0, he was able to do that a lot more in the sort of like the first 6-8 games of the season than he is now. So there is an element of, you've got to take that into consideration. Yeah, it's not been every single time, and you would expect that the type of squad that rocked out at particularly at Bolton. Like I think I saw Cozzy said in the comments that we only made 2 changes, they made 7. You'd think that we would have had on paper a little bit stronger squad than theirs. It didn't turn out that way because they're timid, they're scared, they've lost confidence. It's an absolute rock bottom. Again, the press conference thing again today, he said something along the lines of they've had to remind them that like 6 games ago how well they'd been doing and how what they'd done well, and the mental side of the game is gone for that. But it was the same with the squad last year. They were gone. So I don't know what's going on at the, because it's 2 different blokes giving the team talks compared to Duff, compared to Worthington, compared to whoever, but they're still responding in the same way. Why? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Completely different group of players with a completely different manager in the same location are being affected mentally in the same way. How? I just don't get it. So unless we're cursed in some way, shape, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. Why would that be?
What are they scared of, Andy? There were 6,000 in that ground on Saturday, and they got roundly booed off because they were shite. So what else is there to be? What else is there to be afraid of? Why are they scared to do anything? I don't get this modern day pandering to we need to watch the psychology and we need to big these players up and remind them how amazing they are, because otherwise they might have a paddy like they're 6 years old. Fucking hell, I tell my boys, I talk to them like that because these are professional footballers.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to do that in any way. Like I said, that's not how it works. It's up to the players to have their own mental state, their own mental motivation. So, but then that worries me about what's being said and what's being allowed to be said in the dressing room where it says that he doesn't go. Maybe he needs to get in there. Maybe he needs to be having tough conversations with people. Maybe he needs to be going, hang on, we're not going to tolerate you talking like that about you, mate, or taking a piss out of somebody, or this is a high performance environment. It's elite level football. You might not like it, but League One is still elite level. And to get to that level, you've got to be a pretty good kicker of a football. The thing that actually determines how far you go is what's in up here. And if we're struggling up here, irrespective of how we've got there, whether it's injuries or whatever, that's the worrying thing for me, is that the psychology of the team is such that it's becoming it's learned set of behaviours that they drop back. They don't give that 5% extra that they could have done. They don't run around as much. They're not pressing as hard as it because they're scared if they make a mistake, they'll feel even worse about themselves. So they end up spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. So they just become almost static, like we've seen from players this season. They need somebody to go in and sort out the mentality of that dressing room. But that's not about in a shouty, you need to pull your fingers out type of way. It's way more mentally stretching and challenging than that. But there is something going on in terms of the culture and the climate of that club that says we're dropping to the level that we get tolerated in terms of how we are being mentally. So somebody needs to step in, and Grant needs to see that. That's his job to see that. That's what he needs to be talking about. And if he's talking in a way that the players are not understanding what he's saying, he's got to change that as well. So there's a lot. It's not about kicking a football for me. It's about what's going on up here, and there's very little going on up here at the minute. It appears.
You're lucky to be a footballer. Stop being a twat. Go out there and make the fans proud and give 100%. That's Nick's team talk. That's all that needs to be said. Stop. Just go out and give 100%. Fly into challenges. Give everything. And if you come off knackered at 70 minutes because you can't walk anymore, good. It shows you've given everything. But the fans, they're just not seeing that, Andy. We're not seeing any passion at all on that pitch. No. I don't know. Is it a case of the players that they're not gelling? They're not coming together as a team. They can't work together. Is there an element of that? I'm not seeing many partnerships developing on the pitch either.
No. I think James Murgatroyd's got it there. There's a good exorcist in Fartown. Get him in. Let's get some heads spinning.
Well, let's nice little segue there into the injuries, because the injury count at the moment, and I'm going to include suspensions in this. So we've got Gooch. I know Grant mentioned that Gooch, it was a planned change at half time, but he didn't even make that without getting a groin, something going his groin. So that could be another one out. We've got Wallace, Watmore, McGuane, Evans, Kasumu, Kane, Castledine, Alves, Redmond, and then we've got Ledson suspended and May suspended. Now, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if them suspensions count for the two, because I don't know if it's Ledson's a standalone contest, isn't it? So
Ledson's not suspended for this game or next Saturday. So Ledson's available to be selected.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
But there's still, you're still talking 10, 11 players out there. Bloody hellfire. We're only in November. I've never known a team like it for the amount of injuries and the longevity of the injuries. What more? Evans supposed to be coming back. Oh, there's a setback. McGuane's been on the grass for about 6 weeks. I don't know what he's doing on it. I don't know if he's just sat down, not he's been. Yeah, he might as well be, Andy. He might as well be on feed, doesn't he? Because he's not coming back. I don't know, but he's got to be. He's got to come back soon, because we've literally in central midfield, we've literally nobody left, have we?
No, I think Voss might have to play on Saturday, because Gooch's centre midfield's not worked anyway, has it? Not through any fault of his own. He's just not a centre midfielder, is he?
Feathers here says, is it the Astrograss causing it? I don't know, mate, because they're all different injuries. A lot of them contact, mate, aren't they? It's not like they all get in these in training or recovery. We've had all different types of injuries, haven't we? Steve B, season's over, lads. All aboard relegation league on mega bus. That's it, mate.
Are you all right?
Are
you all right there? It's not like that, I don't think.
I don't know. It's far off. It's hard, isn't it? Because you go from thinking you've got this really deep squad. We talked about it first couple of 2 or 3 episodes, how pleased we were with the depth in the squad. And now it's threadbare again. And you talk about getting a new manager in. Yeah, great, but he's still got the same players to work with. We've barely got a team. We've barely got a decent team to put together, which is why I think sometimes you've got to be creative with a formation and maybe change things around a bit. But he's not, is he? So.
But what often happens in these scenarios, Nick, though, when you're thin like this and you're bringing in fringe players and young lads, you just get a bit of something. They might not be good enough, but they give it a go. And that's the disappointing thing for me is that the lads who are getting chances who might not have played if we'd have had everybody fit, not really staking much of a claim, are they? They're not as you said, nobody's really going, I know he's not good enough, but bloody hell, the lad tries. Gives his everything in every game. Can you think of one player this season where you could say that about? Don't trigger me.
Well, he tries. He's just not very good, but he tries his best.
But yeah, Ashia. But once we realised he was excited and might actually get some people out of the seats, he disappeared after the squad stage, didn't he?
He's drilled it out of him, that's why, isn't he? That's why he didn't play him. He don't like him. He's too attacking for me, lad.
Yeah.
We put him at bloody centre-back before long.
But yeah, like we can all, we're Huddersfield Town fans, we're used to losing, so we can all take a defeat, can't we? I think it's just the current manner of our performances. Yeah, effort's the right word, Steve. You're right, or lack of.
Yeah. Did everyone see Nagles' interview, by the way, on Unrestricted?
Yeah.
Just got a question from Dave before I get into that. Do you think Nagles ignorant for not recruiting a new sporting director? I mean, I don't know if they tried. I don't know if they tried to recruit one in summer and they just all said no. And then we got down to Lee Grant and he said, we'll go it alone then. I'm not too sure, but to me, it just smacks of lacking any kind of experience and football knowledge. There's no experience in that team whatsoever, and there's no real experience from Kevin Nagel in English football ownership. So you put all that together, and you've got blind leading the blind in that respect. So to me, it would make sense to have a sporting director who's been around the block, who's seen it all, experience in League One football that can advise. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Don't know if it make any difference or not.
I don't know. I think they do lack a, they do seem to lack a plan when they've been ducked off. They're not a bad plan. Giving it to where they seem to be the plan. Smacked really of naivety. I don't know if ignorance is the right word, but I said in the summer whether he had the balls for a proper clear out, and he almost did, but Jake Edwards still remains in situ. And we don't know the dynamics. Maybe the reason we didn't get a decent sporting director in is they had to work for Jake, and what Jake says goes. And that may not be an environment in which they're willing to work, which may also be the reason why we ended up with a manager with no experience. Because most experienced managers would say, when I say goes, but then that dynamic works with the sporting director. So if he puts a director of football or a sporting director in, or a director of football operations, or whatever you want to call them, will some experienced managers go, well, I want to make the calls, I want to be the man in charge, and it don't work for me. So I don't know. I think, everybody knows, it's hardly a secret. I like Kev. I think the guy's put his money where his mouth is. He's close to getting to a point where every season the club's in a worse position than when he came. Every decision he's made, with the exception of appointing Warnock, which, if you believe the feedback, wasn't his decision anyway. It was Dean talked him into it. It's been every decision from a football management point of view has been abysmal, hasn't it? So love him as much as I might do, and admire his financial commitment to the club. Everything on pitch is just a fucking disaster. So the problem, who's going to recruit him? Who's going to recruit this director of football? Who are they going to report to? What autonomy will they have? There's more questions than answers, isn't there, at the minute with me for that stuff. I'm not sure it's going to fix our problem this season if you bring somebody in now anyway.
No. It's hard to know where to go, really. It's hard to know how to turn things around, which is ridiculous because we're only in November. You think of all the optimism from August, fast forward 3 months, and it's all doom and gloom again, isn't it? It's back to normal. Talking of doom and gloom, Nagel's interview, I thought it would be proper somber, wasn't it? With music coming on, and it was like something you'd play at awake, wasn't it? It was like, right, and yeah, it's not going as we thought it would. And, you compare that again to the initial unrestricted episodes of, right, first game, we're getting into them, yeah, and then to that, it was like, oh, God. he addressed the comments on whether he cares or not. Obviously, there's been a lot of outpouring on social media at usual channels. A lot of it bollocks, people because we're all angry, and that's fair enough. Everyone's got a right to express an opinion, but equally, you don't want personal insults being thrown about. But the bloke's obviously disappointed. The bloke's put more money than I can even imagine having into the football club already. So, when you've invested that much, there's no one going to be feeling it more than that bloke. So that's a given. What really got up my nose, though, was when he said we've got a manager with lots of energy, talent and promise who's willing to, who's flexible and open to change. And I'm looking at it thinking, well, when's that going to happen? Because we're still sat here. We've had one win in 9 games, and we're playing exactly the same formation with the same ideas, with the same players starting. So where's that appetite for change? I'm just not seeing that at all. And my worry is that Mr. Nagles buying into all this talk from Grant, all this fancy FA speak, which we talk about, and we could be in a scenario where we're 3 points off the bottom, with Grant still in charge and struggling to stay up. But maybe am I being too negative there? Come on, guys, tell me I'm being stupid, and it's not that bad.
Well, I think he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't releasing that video. If he hadn't put it out, fans would have said, "Well, I don't give a shit." If he put something out, fans go, "Well, that's all a load of shit." So he is a bit damned if he does and damned if he don't. But your point's the right one for me, Nick. Currently we sit 6 points off the playoffs and 8 points off the top 2. We sit 6 points off the 3rd relegation place and 9 off bottom. I mean, we are bang average. Bang average. We're right in the middle. But our form is absolutely horrendous. That's what we're
saying, guys. Yeah.
You look at that form table, we're second bottom over 6 games. It's absolutely horrendous. And our track record of teams that are shy rocking up to the stadium and turning over is abysmal. Usually they come and do it to us, don't they? Sorry, Steve.
No, you're right. I was just going to say, yeah, there's relegation form at the moment. If it wasn't for that good start, we'd be in bottom 3. Because, like you said, these last 9 games have been horrific.
Are we just overreacting, though? Is this just a trough? He talked a lot about peaks and troughs, Mr. Nagel, and we're in a trough at the moment. But you can see him turning it around. Do we just have to be patient on this and think, you know what, we might lose a few more, but ultimately we've got the squad to be able to at least stay up and start improving. And if we don't get in the playoffs this season, so be it. I mean, do we have to kind of accept it early that that's what it's going to be? Or is it a case of, no, we should be in that top 6 with what he's spent and it's just not good enough, in which case he's got to go on it.
We're already 6 points off the playoff, though. Already 6 points off, Nick. We've won 1 in the last 9 or 2 in the last 10, depending how you want to cut it, I guess, depending how positive or negative you want to make it, including the cup games. But then the worry is, as Steve says, the form's abysmal. If you could see summer, if you could see a spark, or you could think, all right, we didn't play well, but we created some chances, or we look really solid at the back. Well, I can keep some clean sheets. Even that's gone on it. Even our defending shy. So I think Tuesday night's important, but I think Saturday will be the side. I think he loses Saturday. I think he's gone. I cannot see how he'll. And this madness, as I keep saying, people on the outside looking in are going like, "What do you mean you want to sack him? He's only been here 2 minutes." But it's just a culmination of season after season of utter dross and broken promises.
That's why all the frustration come out, isn't it? You see all the scenes at the end of the game and you're thinking, why are you reacting like that? They've only lost 2-1. But it's 7 years of misery. And it's been promised things season after season, and the same thing happening season after season, been let down time and time again. And eventually you keep prodding the tiger, it's going to lash out, innit? And that's what's happened, innit? Fans have had enough. And I feel sorry for him in that sense, because there's no margin for error. But then as an unexperienced manager, do you really want to go into that kind of job with that kind of pressure? I don't think it was the right job for him in the first place. But
he's turned down other jobs, though, hasn't he? He's had offers before, and the support he said he was going to get was what he wanted. So that's why he's gone for it. He's That's what he said. You know, he's been approached before and turned it down. The backing that he was going to get and the club and the project. He's got to back himself. He's going to take the job if he thinks he can do it. He's not going to go, oh no, I'm not going to. He's going to give it a go. I think it's to be expected that there's going to be a dip, because that's what happens to teams when they come together and then everything's great and then shit hits the fan. That's what tends to happen. I think whether or not he will ride out 2 more bad results, I don't know, because it becomes almost untenable. What would that be? 1 in 11, 1 win in 12?
It's a bit more than a dip, this, though, to be fair.
It's the
Like
same
what
as
you-
Duff.
But Duff never went like
similar
this.
last year?
Yeah, but 5 or
Until
6
he
games, like
did
you
off,
said,
yeah.
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, you were like at start of season, weren't you? It's going to be one of them seasons. We're going to win 2 or 3, lose 1, maybe draw 1, win 2 or 3.
Yeah.
This is we're getting arseholed every week. They just, as soon as they go 1-0 down, they just throw the hat in. They're not in. We're just, as soon as you go 1 down. I think this is a bit more deeper, and we should be looking over his shoulders, because I don't think he's going to change his way. And if we haven't got the players, then yeah, I think we should be looking over his shoulders. But as much as it is him for not changing, the players have got to step up for me. Everybody keeps banging on about we've got best squad, we've got best squad. Have we really? I can't see it. I don't think we have got the best squad, because they're just not interested. They don't want to play. They were all freebies from Championship. I think we need to. It's worrying if we carry on in this form and he won't change. I think we're going to be in a bit of bother, and it's going to be an hard running now as well, isn't it? Up to Christmas.
Yeah.
Games are going to come thick and fast, aren't they?
Thing is, like, when we have all the players available, I think the squad is decent, but the problem is they're not, and we look like a team of individuals to me. I think you're right, Steve. Certain players, we're still waiting for Ryan Ledson to step up. He goes missing far too often. Don't notice him at all most games. Marcus Arnis, he does chip it, like, again with that goal the other day. He does put a decent pass in. He does have certain bits of quality, but we don't see it enough. It's like Ben Wiles. Occasionally he'll be great and he'll create and he'll score, but we don't see it enough. And
Once a month.
there's no visible leadership on the pitch. Nobody's shouting at it. Nobody's getting into them. There's no team hugs and, right, come on, we're going to get this. But that comes from Grant and all. I don't see a lot of that from Grant. I don't see getting into them. We have a crafty water break where we can all get around and look at a spreadsheet, but there's no fire, is there? There's no oomph. It's flaccid. That's what it is. Flaccid.
Great word.
But yeah, there's peaks and valleys, like you said, so Steve. It's not just a valley. It's fucking Grand Canyon, innit? That's what we're at the moment.
Yeah, big
It's
time.
a chasm. Oh God.
I can't
Anyway,
see where next win's coming from.
honestly, I mean, we'll get on to Plymouth. I won't say it. We'll get on to Plymouth in a minute, but yeah, and then I'll quickly touch on ATT meeting, because I was in attendance at that. It was a pleasure to go and be involved in it and to meet other members of the panel on there. It's not just to discuss the performances on the pitch. It's to discuss everything relating to fan experience, and including, there was a lot of questions around the ownership of the stadium and developing around the site. So it was interesting to sort of to be a part of that. Kevin Nagel was in attendance, which was great, because that's best practice when the chairman's here. You expect them to get involved, and fair play to Kev. They rearranged the meeting for that reason, and he came across as a really nice guy. It was nice to meet him, and the panel asked him some difficult questions around finance of the club, which is good to see, because it's not just about on-pitch performances. There's no point moaning about on-pitch performances if the club folds. So obviously, as fans, you want to hold people to account and make sure that financially we're in a decent place. So The minutes of that are online on the town website. They've been agreed by all parties, so everyone's happy with those. So go and have a look at them. The main thing he was talking about in regards to the development was building a hotel. That seems to be the cornerstone of their development, with the intention of using it, I think, for conferences and for particularly with sponsors of the club that are holding events, somewhere for them to stay and hold events. The intention's also to have conferences at the stadium, 15 to 20 a year. Whether that's feasible or not is to be seen. How it's going to compete with the larger venues remains to be seen. You know, I mentioned, well, it's all right having hotels and conference venues and nice big, gigs there with no parking. You know, how's that going to work? So they've got to think, obviously, about the practicalities of it. But the issue about the ticketing, Gaz, I know you had issue with this on one of the previous pods around the fact that tickets were raised early. So they were advertised at 9:30 and they come out at 9:10 for the Bradford game, weren't they? So that's been addressed. It's to discuss things like that as well. The big screen that we had's been donated to Emily, which is nice to see, the old screen. So that's really good. So they're going to get good use of that. And yeah, other than that, like I say, all the minutes are on the website. But I think it's clear to see that obviously Kevin isn't happy with the situation. He's frustrated. He wants them to do well. But it remains to be seen what he's going to do. I don't know. And you know, one of the interesting things is that they intended to raise ticket prices again at some point. Now, whether that'll be this season with everything that's going on, I'm not sure. But that is the intention, and that's in the minutes, that at some point there is an intention to raise them to generate funds, because we don't generate enough funds to be able to compete under the rules. So, yeah, I don't know how that's going to work with how things are going, because at the moment it's not great, is it? The football isn't screaming ticket hike, so maybe that'll be revisited. I'm not sure, but we will see. We will see in future. Is there anything else you want to talk about with that? Or, I mean, like I say, it's all there. It's all in the minute. I've not said anything that's not in those minutes, so I can't be sued. So that's fantastic. But it was good to see. It was good to see the chairman there. There's supposed to be different members of the board there that can answer specific questions, what they've got at that particular meeting. So, and there's all different fan groups attend, and there was an option. The club did put the option out there for fans to apply to go on the panel as well. So I'm sure quite a few fans will have done that. So the aim is to get as much fan representation on there as possible. So that can only be a good thing. Right, so on to the questions. We had a few questions on X. So I'll go through them now. I'm just looking at some of these comments. Still talking about Spunk, Gavin. That's nice. It's nice to have a theme throughout the episode.
Have you seen the... we should be changing the title, shouldn't we?
We should be, yeah.
I've seen the interloper. Apparently Bolton are the best team in League One. I'm not talking about periods. We've had enough with Spunk all day.
Are the best team in League One? Okay. Well,
no, no. Stockport are the best team in League One. You're not even close.
No, I mean, if best team in League One means 7th, then yeah, you're best team in League One. But otherwise, no. Good old Charity FC will turn up against Plymouth and give them 3 points. Yeah, we'll discuss Plymouth in a minute. So, questions and comments on X. Miles D says, given Nagel backed Grant publicly on film last Friday, how bad do things realistically need to get before we sack him? Seems as if the owner has backed himself into a messy corner. And I guess, guys, yeah, you're right, Gaz. He's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But he's come out there publicly. To be fair to him, he's backed him. He said, no, I believe in him. We're going to give him every possible chance to turn this around. But how many more bad results before he doesn't have a choice? Two?
That's
I don't,
Or is that just for me? I don't
think Mansfield matters. I think Exeter matters. I think if we lose against Exeter,
or Plymouth.
I think he'll do something. Honestly, I do. I think if we lose to Exeter, I think he'll be a goner. Because then, when you look at the next 3 games, we've got 3 away games. After that, you've got Cardiff, Mansfield, and Luton, and then Wimbledon at home. I mean, they're 4 hard games.
Yeah, I don't see where a win's coming from. I've got to be honest, and I include Mansfield in this. I don't see where a win's coming from right now with the way we're playing. We just don't look. We're in that pattern of we turn up, we play shit, we lose, and we've seen it time and time again. When we got relegated from Championship last season, second half of last season, we were awful, couldn't buy, and we're exactly the same form again. Just earlier in the season, the difference was last season we went on that 16 unbeaten run before it went to pot. But we haven't got that buffer, and that's what worries me. I think, personally, if we lose to Plymouth, the state that they're in, their fans are absolutely raging at the moment. But as we know, Huddersfield Town are the gift, aren't they, when you're really struggling. And if we lose that, it has to be curtains, in my eyes. We've got someone mentioned, and I don't know if it were Nick earlier, that with a 2-week window there, 2 weeks. So if we were to get a new manager, it would make sense to do it with that little bit of time. I mean, who knows? They might be sussing someone out now. They might be looking around now. I don't know. But Steve, what do you think, mate?
I don't really know, to be honest, because if he's come out and publicly backed him, so if we lose to them on Saturday, and then he's going to look a tit for sacking him after publicly backing him, and then where do you go from there? Like you've just said, who's going to want to come to Huddersfield? It's a tough one. I think Grant's just got to really. Tomorrow is his game. Change it up. Give himself a bit of breathing space and say, look, I'm trying other stuff. Because if not, this form, we're in bother. Like you've said, Nick, I can't see where we're going to get another win from. Not where we're playing. But I think if we're still within touching distance of the playoffs, I think he stays for at least till Christmas. I think like last season, he panicked a bit, didn't he? And got rid of Duff when we were just slipping out. And then he thought, right, Worthy ball, everybody's going to be behind Worthy. We're going to win 5-0. I think that's with Stevenage that we won his first game. And everybody were like, oh, Worthy ball, yeah, we're going to definitely in top 6. And then we ended up finishing 10th or whatever. I think if that happens again, then he'll pull trigger. But I think he'll give him some more time, I really do. Because he'll just look a knob, won't he? He'd come over, publicly backs him, and then we lose El Sacchio, whether it's him or Tom Clever that gets boot on Saturday. Yeah, I think he's going to make himself look a bit of a tit. And where do you go from here? Who's the manager that's going to come to town at the moment? They're not queuing up for the job.
I'm sure I saw Neil Warnock watching the game at Bolton.
We'll have him. We'll have Will.
Manager football comes out this week, doesn't he? So that's why he's got sacked. He'll be back on that. Football Manager 26 comes out this week. Yeah, he'll be busy for the next 6 months.
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I think you've got to give a little bit of credit for the easiest decision is to just sack him in it, but you can't just keep sacking managers. So I think you've got to give a bit of credit for sticking with him and saying, actually, no, at some point we do have to. If we've got this guy in. We've backed him with financially. We've now got to back him mentally, and we've got to say to people, no, we are going to stick by him, and that does send out the right message to future managers. If you do stick with someone a season, 2 seasons, even when it's not particularly working, and there have been scenarios where managers have been awful first season, but they've stuck with them and they've gone on to do really good things. You know, Bradford fans were moaning about Alexander when he was first in, saying it were crap, and now that we're all over it, oh, he's amazing, and there's lots of it. I mean, Carlos' first season, it wasn't great, but then second season, decent. So, but I just worry that it's the way we're playing. It's not that we're trying things and we're looking good in prolonged spells, playing nice football. And we're just falling off the wrong side of the result. We're not seeing that. It's the opposite. It's the same turgid, depressing, boring, crap football that's not producing anything and nothing's changing.
My personal view, I'm with you, Nick. I think you've got to give them at least till Christmas. At least till Christmas. But before we go and spunk a load of money in the January transfer window, we have to be sure he's the right man. Do you like that, Andy? You're in an hotel room on your own, Andy, so...
And that's why my Wi-Fi's going all over the place, because it's that time of night, isn't it? Because all the lads have gone back to their rooms after they've had the dinner.
Yeah. Well, I think you've got to give him Christmas, at least Christmas, Nick. And then I think if you're in touching distance, I think you're right. Hopefully he's learned the lesson, because the Michael Duff thing felt knee-jerk at the time, didn't it? And although I was no Michael Duff fan particularly, I do think we'd have got into the playoffs if Duff had stopped.
Well, I think if they'd have backed him like we have this summer, we'd have been doing a lot better with Duffin. I mean, he must be, because he didn't get a fair crack at it, did he, really?
I was no Duff fan either, I might add, by the way. His football was turgid and all, so... But... he's done all right at Wycombe so far, hasn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah. Terry
and Nigel, he always brings a bit of positivity. What's Kevin waiting for? Lee Grant has to go. It's hard, isn't it? I mean, there's arguments for both sides. I'm just sick of it being toxic all the time. Fans having a go at each other all the time. Everyone miserable, turning up to games. Why have we come here? I just want some happiness back. You just want to look forward to games again, and we're far off that. Killer's saying, "Where's the Northern football shirts gone?" I don't know if Andy's gone to get his. I don't know where he's gone, but I bet he's got it there.
No matter where he goes in the world, he takes it with him. There you go.
Yeah, there he is. There he is.
Did you buy a small, Andy? It looks a bit tight.
That's because I'm so muscly, lad. That's what it is.
Been down the gym.
I go down the gym. I take creatine, mate. I was chairman. And it's Jacob proper club gear as well, you know, that Darlow Terrier knockoff stuff. How much was
that? How much was that?
I can't remember. I think probably more than it should have been worth. And it's bits falling off it as well, but I thought it'd be. You've got to back your club, haven't you? So he needs money to invest, doesn't he? So I'm just this has gone towards a quarter of a toenail of Dion Charles. That's what when I buy stuff, that's what I think I'm financing.
You'll be staying in that hotel, mate, when it's built and all, won't you? You'll be doing you'll be down doing events in that bad boy.
I'm going to stick with pension, and I'm just going to live in that hotel until I die.
Jacob Rogers says, "Are you guys for or against Grant?" Well, we've already kind of said that. It's tough, isn't it? Said from day one he's a wrong appointment. He's showing no signs of improving to become a half-decent manager. We'll be happy to see him go. However, I have no faith in Nagel appointing a half-decent replacement. We are in a very bad situation. Michael Bottomley says, more topics for tonight. Looking ahead to Mansfield, toxic atmosphere with fans after Bolton match and Joe Taylor arguing with fans. Yeah, we talked about that.
There won't be any fans there tomorrow.
There'll be no one there, mate. Don't worry about that. There'll be more in there. There'll be more in there, but there won't be many. There'll be about, 1,000, do you think?
Right on town Twitter page, they were advertising today, come and play a PlayStation thing before game and stuff.
Well, yeah, it's only a chance to see a decent game of football.
Play your own.
Yeah, play out. It's the only time we're going to win if we play as us, yeah. I met Maureen, by the way, at the meeting with her daughter, and they were lovely, two lovely ladies. I have to say, it was a pleasure to meet them. And I know that her daughter listens to this pod, so big up to you. Get yourself on here. I tried to persuade her to get on as well, but she wouldn't because she doesn't like Gaz, so it's understandable. Only joking, Gaz.
Not even with that smile.
$1 million smile list. Well, that's how much it cost.
There's a lot of questions around the games coming up, which we'll talk about in a sec. Nick, having watched this club for 52 years, this is probably the most boring, nothing, passionless, tacticless side I've ever had the displeasure of watching. Makes our club look stupid in the public view. Fantastic. Yeah, there's a lot of emotion out there. There's a lot of depressed people, and after all the buzz around the start of the season, it's not nice to see, is it? You just want to get some of that buzz back. But let's look at to Mansfield. Come on, Mansfield at home in the Virtue Trophy. No one gives a fuck. Let's be honest about what happens in this trophy. But is it more important now, given the situation, that Grant gets a win here? There's going to be about 1,500 in ground. You can hear a pin drop in that atmosphere. It's going to be the same formation. Suspensions don't count, so at least we are going to have a couple back. But do we need to win this game? Yes or no?
We need to win any game, don't we? We just need to win our game
100%.
of some kind. And if it's that game, then I'll be extremely pleased if we win that game. Can we still get through, by the way? I don't even know how it works. Does anybody know?
I think if we win, we go through, don't we?
Can. Yeah.
We're second out.
No? Okay. Well, everything to play for then. No.
Trip to Wembley.
Come on.
Trip to Bolton next round.
All right.
So we're out then.
Yeah. Well, we just need to win our game from somewhere, don't we?
We need something, don't we?
Yeah.
And fast. Shall we give some predictions for that game before we move on to El Sakiko? Gaz, go on, let's start with you then. What do you think's going on?
I'm going to say 2-1 Mansfield.
That's a spirit. Andy? DL.
2-1 Town.
Hey.
Where do you think we're getting 2 goals from?
It'll go in off somebody's ass like fucking Bolton had it.
OGs. 2 OGs. 0-0 for me, Nick. Boring.
Are we going to win on pens though, Steve, if it's 0-0?
Oh, yeah, that could be an issue. Oh, it depends who's in goals. Who would you start tomorrow? Would you start Nichols or Goodman?
Wouldn't you? Would you?
Yeah, I'd go Goodman.
I would.
Yeah, 0-0. We win on pens.
Well, look at this.
Goodman saves 4.
I'm gonna say 2-1 defeat, like Gaz. I'm sorry. I think Mansfield are decent. Where are they in league? Hang on, where are they in league here? So they're 8th in league. They're not far off play. They're only a couple of points off playoffs, you know. And yeah, they might field a weakened side, but I mean, look at our side. It's not exactly firing on all cylinders, is it? So I think it's going to be on paper, fans will look at this saying, "Oh yeah, should win this Mansfield at home." But I think they're a better team than us this moment in time.
And a wily manager in Nigel Clough, that bloke knows this league inside out, back to front. He knows how to get the best out of a squad of players who aren't the best individuals. So, you know, no matter, well, he'll probably make changes as well. There's going to be some changes. So, that's what it is, isn't it?
But you'd expect him to be organised and physical, which neither of which we are suited to. Plymouth at home. Oof. On the one hand, you could say this is exactly the fixture you need in a situation like this. On the other hand, it's not, because Plymouth, as I said, Plymouth fans really unhappy with Cleverley and the players. In fact, they were running with them after the Wycombe game, cup game. There were players arguing with the fans. They were giving them what for, saying, "Come on, exactly what we're doing." Lost the last 3 in the league. Conceded the most out of any side this season, 25 goals. We have to get a result in this game, surely, lads. There's no option, is there? If we lose this, I cannot see him surviving it.
It's a big game, isn't it? It's a big game. Well, it's a big game for Grant, I think, is what it is. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, their form's nearly as bad as ours. But I'm with you. You know, who was it that came all the week and conceded like 1 million goals away from home, and then was it Peterborough?
Peterborough,
Yeah, you know, we just we just never take advantage of these scenarios and these situations. And if tomorrow night don't go well, even though 16,000 of the 17,000 that might be at the game Saturday won't actually be watching it, it won't stop it transmitting onto the pitch, will it? And I think it won't take, if you're cleverly, you're saying, listen, lads, sit in 15 minutes, crowd will turn. All you need is to hit a one-top break and crowd will turn. And they don't play against us, stick it in behind. I mean, still, the only advantage with Tom Cleverley is he's inexperienced. I know he was manager at Watford, but not much more experienced than Grant, has he? I'd rather we play Nigel Clough Tuesday than the Saturday, because I'm almost certain we'd lose Saturday against Mansfield with him in charge. So I just hope somehow the players actually get the finger out of their arse and realise and I think that was the other thing I was going to say, by the way, about the Grant thing. I want to keep him till Christmas. There also needs to come a time where the board of management, show the players that they're not in control here. Because I'm convinced 2 or 3 of the last sackings have been due to player power. And then these players who currently can't be arsed probably just thinking, but sit it out for them 3 or 4 weeks, this bloke will be gone. We'll get another guy in and that can just shim it along for another 6 months. Maybe these players need to take a long, hard look, maybe realise if they don't get the finger out, they're going to get this bloke the sack and pull a performance out. Let's be honest, no matter what team he puts on the pitch, they should be good enough to beat a struggling Exeter team who are letting goals for fun.
This has all the makings of a Town defeat. Plymouth are awful. They're absolute disarray. Cleverly come out in an interview saying it's going to be a long, hard road to recovery. This is exactly the sort of game that Huddersfield Town lose. It's exactly the game that we lose against a side like this. With seemingly no hope from the outside of achieving anything. They come to Town and Charity FC rolls over, doesn't it? That can't happen again, surely. It can't. If it does, then I don't see a way back for him.
As Mick says, it can.
Can.
1-0 loss from me.
Oh.
I honestly, I can't see where a win's coming from. I think like you've said, Nick, we'll roll up, we'll play as normal setup, and they'll get lucky, and they'll just nick it 1-0.
Oof.
I'm debating not whether to go, to be honest. I might actually go to work instead.
It's not going to be a nice, unless Town get an early goal. That atmosphere is going to be, the tension's going to build and build and build. It's not going to be a nice atmosphere at all, is it? Andy, come on, mate. Have we got some
2-0 Town.
Positivity? 2-0 Town.
2-0 Town and pie face crying in away end. That's what's going on.
Well, we haven't kept a clean sheets in September.
We're due.
So I cannot see us keeping it at 0. They've scored as many goals as we have, but I think they've scored 17. We've scored 18. So they've scored as many goals as we have. So I can't see either team keeping a clean sheet. I guess the question is who can keep the cleanest sheet. So I'm gonna go. Are you ready for this? I'm gonna go 2-1 Town.
Oh, Gaz.
Yeah, that caught you out, did it?
Grab bag with both.
Yeah, I hope so. I want Bojan to be top scorer. See, if that doesn't send a message to Kevin Nagel about how bad it is, I don't know what will.
He's going to have to play him, innit, to be fair.
I'll bet you 50 quid he
There's
doesn't.
no else.
Really?
I bet you
Loads of spunk and no clean sheets from Gaz. I think, personally, we're going to lose. I think we might get a draw if we're lucky, but everything's telling me, my gut instinct is telling me that Plymouth are going to score at least 2 goals. So it's either going to be 2-2 or 3-1. But honestly, I just think Plymouth will have too much for us. I don't see where the next win's coming from with the way that we're playing. like I say, it's not just that we're not getting the results, it's the way we're playing. It's the lack of any cohesion on the pitch. It's that as soon as something goes against us, the heads go down. And if Plymouth get the first goal, the pressure at home, the atmosphere, I just do not see this team being able to manage that. And I just think Plymouth will be buoyed by it and they'll get the result. And that'll be the end of Grant's tenure. I do. And it's a massive shame. And if it's not, then who have we got after Plymouth? I'm not sure. Can't think now.
International
break. Because Cardiff's been...
Yeah, international break.
International break.
We've got...
Exeter, didn't you say?
Cardiff, Mansfield, Luton. Would you say Cardiff's off?
Cardiff's off, mate. So it will be Mansfield then.
Mansfield away, then Luton away on the Tuesday night, and then Northampton away.
Bloody hell! I don't think he's gonna get through it. I don't think he'll see out November, unfortunately. But Sean O'Toole here, 1-0 Town, but another poor performance. But forget the poor performance bit. We've got some more positivity, so we're going to take that. I'm sorry for being negative, but I just don't see it. I just don't see where we're going, other than down. So on that note, have we anything else? I think we've covered everything. Anything else you guys want to bring up this moment in time?
If he did get shot when he pulled trigger, realistically, who do you think is going to come in? Because everybody's mouthing off on Twitter saying, pull the trigger, do this, Terry and Nigel, all the rest of them. But where do you go? Honestly, I couldn't think of one name now that had come in.
This is it, mate, innit? Because, I don't think Grant were first choice, were he?
No, that Barry lad, wasn't he up there? He's doing well, isn't he? Did we get wrong one?
Well, we were reputedly going for Sellers and lost every game, didn't
Dodged a bullet with him.
Maybe we'll be back in for him.
He'll fit right in.
It's a good question, that, Steve. It's a really good question.
Yeah.
Lee says Johnny Ogg.
Schumacher, he'll come to a bigger club.
Fucking hell.
Well, Feathers is talking about Mowbray, which I think would be... I think that's exactly the kind of manager we could probably do with. But
yeah.
And I think that when you were on about Grant saying, "Oh, I've had other offers and I've been," what he really means is Kev offered him championship wages.
Yeah,
that's what he really meant. When he said he was hanging on for the right job, he meant the one that paid the right money. One would suggest. So although we said, "Well, he's going to come, it's a dumpster fire," there's only 92 jobs. And there's a lot more than 92 managers want a job, and money talks. So no, I still think we could get. Somebody reasonable in, but what we can't have is blowing him out and not having somebody lined up. That's what they've got to get, somebody lined up if they're going to do it.
Yeah. If it was me, I would be making a few inquiries just to see. Can you imagine Nigel Pearson in that setup being told what to do? He'd have half of them up against wall, wouldn't he?
So, honestly, David Jones, you got to give him his due. He's proper hanging on in there for the end of this, isn't he? It's because we're bit. You got to bear in mind, before they beat us at home, they all watched Schumacher sacked.
Yeah, they did. They were booed, weren't they, at half time? They were booed off at half time.
Booed them off at half time.
It shows what it's like, though. That's football, though, isn't it? That's football.
That's know we're not the only fickle ones, are we? We're not the only. It's good.
Bolton have been shite for years. They're exactly like us. We're synergised. We're both doomed to be in League One for fucking eternity. Same type of stadium, same miserable set of bastard fan base. We're exactly the same. We can all be miserable together.
Yeah.
Right. On that note, on that positive, happy note, I think we'll call it a day. Thank you so much, guys, for all your comments and questions. As always, it's been, I would say, a pleasure. I'm sorry it's been so negative, but what can we do? We're getting fed up. We're just saying the same thing week after week because nothing's changing. But at some point, something's got to, and either we start getting the results, or unfortunately, Mr. Grant's going to be picking up his P45. So we'll see what happens against Mansfield. Hopefully, we get a result just to give us a little bit of momentum, and we can take that into Plymouth, and then we'll do another episode after that. But for now, Gaz, Andy, Steve, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for everyone that's listened tonight and your contributions. It's very much appreciated as always. We'll see you soon, and as always, up the town.
The town.
There's a team that is dear to its followers. The colours are bright blue and white. They're a team of renown. They're the pride of the town. And the game of football is their delight. And all the while upon the field of play, thousands loudly cheer them on the way. Often you can hear them say, who can beat the town today? And then the bells will ring so merrily, and every goal shall be a memory. So town, play up and bring that cup back to Huddersfield. So town, play up and bring the cup back to Huddersfield.